Hey there, folks, and welcome to episode 112 of Trials and Trebuchets. I am your Dungeon Master, Luke, and joining me are my players, whose names are...
Well, howdy do. My name is Ben, and I play the level 6 gnome wizard, Windsor Wallaby, along with his cuddly little companion, Mr. Wiggles. Yeehaw.
Meow.
Shut up.
Beautiful. 10
No,
out of
that was
10.
Wiggles doing his part of the intro.
Hello. Hi, my name is Carla, and I play the level 6 Tiefling Roguelock, Integrity Addleberry. And welcome to the Liar, the Witches, and the Frogwobe.
Oh my god.
Amazing. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marchand, the level 6 half-elf bard. That comment about Ferdinand being a frog really aged weirdly, huh?
And my name is Sam, and I play the level 6 human sorceress Serenep Cinderman. I can't beat Frogwoe, I'm sorry.
That's fine. We're all living in Frogwobe's world.
Honestly.
We're living in the
last
shadow of
time-
the
Out of context
Frogwoe.
spoilers.
And last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students entered into the Lodge of the Lost / Lodge of the Lycans and met the young and anxious proprietor, Melon, who offered info on the marsh, as well as some coffee and board games if they wanted to pass some time. Getting info on a traveler they suspected to be the wanted witch Ferdinand, the students meandered on over to Grungtown, meeting many tiny frog grung folk and learning about their extensive and rich, violent culture. Escorting the great shaman of the marsh, a sack of skin and bones with a frog voice, they finally entered through the bead curtain to meet with the grung chief Helpa and ask permission to speak with their captive and soon-to-be burned witch. So,
Which witch is this?
which witch is it? So, the four of you accompanying, I think carrying specifically under the armpits, the four of you students and the great shaman of the marsh, a small wrinkly frog, or grung if you want to be specific,
Frung.
have just entered through
Grog.
a set of bead curtains into the chieftain's hut in Grungtown within moistest marsh. If you do recall,
Past the moles.
the past the mole seems to be contentious based on the signage entering the marsh, but you know,
Good point.
that's not up for me to say which is which. I mean, it ostensibly should be, but you know,
Moistest march beyond the moles.
Moistest Marsh and the moles.
coexistence.
My
So
favorite Studio Ghibli movie.
Bumper sticker on their back of their wagon.
So, if you recall, Shin Pem has been gone for a little bit now. Color and light has seemingly, or not so much the color, but the brightness of the air seems to have been drained or diluted with their absence. And so you're in this dark marsh. You've just you walking on this creaky, raised up boardwalk above the marsh surface itself. There's a large fire ripping and roaring in the center of Grungtown, a circular-esque boardwalk kind of shanty town built above some standing water. There's a bonfire burning in the middle of town, and a lot of grung, as you might recall, banging on drums and chanting, "Burn the witch! Burn the witch!" But you all just entered into the chieftain's quarters, Chief Helpa's hut, to ask for permission to speak with their captive witch, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
See.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was
Okay.
the plan.
I just wanted to make sure I got that detail right. And so, to describe what you see, it's a very plain kind of hut, or at least this front room that you enter into. It's just a chamber large enough for maybe 8 like average humans to stand up in. So very cramped. We're at about half capacity here. There's on the other side from when you first walk in through this lovely bead curtain, there's a throne sitting in which is a large gray toad-looking creature. Between the two of you, in the middle of the room, is like a large wooden brazier with a greenish fire burning. There's a tall and very wide greatsword sticking out of it that seems to be mightily rusted. And covering the walls are assorted little mushrooms that look like little seats where grung might sit. In fact, I would say there's probably one or two little grung, bright green colored, sitting on those very toadstools right now. They look to be snoozing a little bit. And so as you walk in, on the throne itself, you see they look to be about like your size, actually, Serenup. This toad creature, with this gray, pocky skin and these dead black eyes. And then after like a second, you hear a very muffled, "Oh," and you see them in a small puff of smoke transform into a completely golden skinned, maybe like 6-inch tall little frog who's sitting now looking very small upon this throne.
Magic.
What the fuck?
I was gonna make a joke about how threatened I felt by their height, but then it just transformed.
All threat gone.
No fear is needed.
Zero
And
fear.
as you all stand, what are you all doing? Are you going to do anything? Integrity, you're still holding the great shaman underneath the armpits.
Well, I'm gonna drop him as soon as we're in there. I'm not drop him like
Just let him unceremoniously plunk to the floor.
Just kind of like lifts it up
Gently-
a little bit higher, and then like there it goes.
no. I'm going to gently bring him down.
Mm-hmm.
And making sure that my skin doesn't directly touch his oily skin and burn myself.
Okay, you
know.
do such. You set him gently on the ground. Give me what would be a fun check for this?
Uh-oh.
Let me pull out my little
No.
list of all of the skills available to us in this lovely game that I ostensibly should know, but don't.
Like Constitution.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Ha! You chose wrong. I'm kidding.
It had to be an athletics check.
Yeah, so that's a 24.
Okay, you
Damn.
set this little shaman down on the ground. You hear some cracking as their like knees pop, and they go like, "Ugh," as they like feel gravity start pulling on their body again, and they have to support themselves.
Can I just say, does it make a difference that it's actually 22 and I added wrong?
It
Not
does
really,
not.
right?
It's okay. You far exceeded the minimum DC. And so you all stand here. So what are any of you going to do anything? This chieftain seems to be sitting, kind of trying to reach his hand up onto one of the armrests, but can't quite reach it because they are very tiny, and like puts their hand under their chin as if to hold it up. Their skin is like glimmering as if made from pure gold. Serenep.
I think Sereneth will be standing further to the back of the group. She won't say anything, but she will bow respectfully to them because obviously they are an important figure in this town. So
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Serenep do this, I will also very awkwardly bow. It's weird because like these are frogs, but it's like,
Yes.
all right, I'm here.
what you learn in youth
This
is
is what
that
we
if
do
there
here.
is someone sitting in a big chair looking very important, you bow.
Oh, the lessons nobles learn.
Winsler.
I'm just gonna brush my clothes off, get some of that dust away, just sort of like adjust myself, and I'll just smile.
They, seeing two of you bow, one of you set their shaman on the ground gently, and the other one smiling pleasantly and charmingly at him, will drop the hand from below his chin and will kind of stand up tall on his seat, all 7 inches of height, very imposing, and will say in a shrill voice, "You stand before Helper, chieftain of the Grung.
Howdy.
Yes.
What
Greetings.
demands have you, outsiders?"
We would like to humbly request the ability to speak with the witch prisoner, please. We have business with her. We will afterwards leave and let you continue to do your thing, but we would like to speak with her first if it is permissible. Oh, great chieftain?
Are you friends of this witch?
No.
Well, we're friends of friends.
friends of the witch?
We know
Come-
of them.
You know of them. Come a bit closer to me, please. Step into my hut.
I'll step into the hut.
Mm-hmm. You
So
step.
if Windsor's doing it,
How tall is the hut?
we can't let Windsor be the
listen,
only one, or
listen,
things will
there's
go
7
very
inches,
bad.
no fear. You show no fear. They can smell it.
Serenap, you want us to know how tall the hut is?
Yeah.
You can fit in here comfortably. It is very
Okay.
large. It's like a very grand edifice for these small grung, but is like moderately cramped. It's like probably a bit smaller than Artis's shed, quite honestly. Which is like a regular size.
Inside a shed, so okay,
Yeah, I know, but it's
cool.
just imagine a shed. It's like slightly smaller than that and is the largest building in this town. So you all take a few more steps further in. You can see the this green flame kind of casting some wonderful light on the splendid golden skin of Chieftain Helpa as they look at you with these inquisitive froggy eyes, and they will say, "How do you? First and foremost, welcome to Grung Town. Second, how are you friends of friends with the witch that I have and will burn soon? It's very important to me that you tell me the honest truth."
There is someone we know who potentially wants this potential witch as a prisoner? As a prisoner.
Huh.
Yes, but now it looks like she's already a prisoner, so that happened. What she wanted to happen happened, but she wants us to come and sort of like, I guess, give her a talking to of some kind, because we don't really know, but like they're kind of like mad at each other.
Do you do prison
So-
transfers?
In some circumstances, I could be convinced, but this one is a bit different.
Why?
I am trying to extract the whereabouts of a friend from our witch. Then we'll burn her on the bonfire in honor of Grungwar.
What friend of her friend are you trying to figure out more about?
What friend of a friend are you working with?
Ah, what a tangled web we weave.
We might be able to avoid this whole situation if you have the information that I need. Then we could make, and he'll look at you, Winsler, and point a little froggy finger and say, we could make a prisoner transfer. And we could just
Well-
burn some driftwood in honor of Grungwar.
We
What?
asked the question first. Who's your friend?
But this is my village,
He has a point.
and you are here
It's true.
under the grace of Grungwar, most
Lifting their
beautiful?
hands up.
of all elders.
Winslow, this is like kind of your thing, so it's your call. Do you think we should like say who it is?
They're my grandma.
Your grandmother. Would it be kind? Make a persuasion or deception check, depending on how you feel about this personally.
Is it really?
I mean,
is it
is
really
it
deception?
really
I feel
deception?
like in a way.
It's not really
true.
deception.
Hearing Windsor say it though, it's so funny. Like
It is very good.
It's just been a thing, you know? I got a 16.
monster manual.
Well, I
I'm not getting
doubt...
attacked. I think it's just the stats.
The frog turns into
We
a
are getting
bigger
attacked.
monster.
Like,
Turns into the
oh my
big
God.
frog again.
Salty's your
I
grandma?
wonder what happens if they put 2 and 2 together, and me saying Salty's my grandma, that I am a descendant of a witch.
You haven't
Oh.
said who she is yet, so we
True.
could still be in the clear.
So what did you roll, Winsler?
16.
16. They lick their thumb with the long froggy tongue and will say, "So your grandmother sent you on an errand here to find my witch and bring her back."
I don't know about really bring her back. I kind of guess we just really want to talk to her most of all. At least for now.
Conversations with witches can be very taxing. They're
Yeah,
very
I-
persuasive. They
are
tend
very
to
persuasive.
lie,
They are
cheat,
Yep.
steal,
mhm,
betray,
Yeah.
leave you for dead, sell you things that are what you think you want, but then you eat it and you realize it's not what you wanted it to be.
What did you
It
eat?
turned you into a
guess.
frog.
I relate to this frog.
We could talk. What is the name of your grandmother?
Penny?
Make a deception check.
12.
That is no name from this plane,
I mean,
and you aren't from this plane either.
So I guess that would make sense.
No, it would.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not from this plane, then it would be weird if
My
his grandma
point
was, right?
is more so to ask, and they'll stand. They'll stand fully up again. They sat down again. I don't think I said that. They've just been sitting and standing and licking their fingers and pointing at stuff intermittently. They will, in a language you do not speak, that just is ribbits and croaks, will call to the two little grungs sitting on toadstools, sleeping on the walls, and wake them up, as well as speak to the great shaman of the marsh, who was standing behind you by the door, like leaning against the wall and like almost falling over, and seems to send them from the room as the bead curtains flap when they leave.
Bye.
They seem to run scared out of the room.
What
Bye.
semester did we learn ribbits in?
That's fourth year.
Oh shit, we're never gonna get there.
So, Helpa will jump out forward off the throne and kind of start walking towards you, hands tucked behind his back, and will look at you, Winsler, and will say, "Why have you come here to the plain of Isithil in search of your grandmother's friend, then? You're not from here. Your grandmother's not from here, and I doubt she's named Penny. So what are you here for my witch for?"
I'm wondering how honest we should be here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's clear that the whole, like, it's kind of out of the water already. So I just wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying we should slowly boil the chieftain?
No!
No.
What?
We will be starting a war with the grungs. Damn.
No! We do not want frog
What
legs
do
for
you
dinner.
say, Winsler? They'll pace around you at this point. Kind of, you hear them croaking underneath their breath.
I've made some questionable decisions in my life.
Mm,
One of which is possibly related to something that occurred here. How long was it ago?
like half a
A
year.
couple months.
Around half a year ago.
Mm,
We all came to Isithil once before. I was like
yes.
a field trip.
Mm, interplanar field trips. Mm.
And then I met my long lost grandmother
Ah.
who lives here.
Hmm.
Her name is Celty. You might have heard of her based on the
The
many advertisements she probably has labeled around.
The
Who
chief
knows
will
Who God knows where.
the chief will stop in his tracks when you say Celty's name. I think at this point they're probably behind you, Winsler, since they were circling you. So the rest of you would see this. Winsler, you can't see this. And they kind of like will make eye contact with the other three of you and just smirk, a froggy little smirk, and then walk back around to be in front of you again, Winsler, and say, "You are Celty's grandson, the Woods Witch, correct?"
I guess in a sense you could say that. We're not blood related.
Okay.
So I guess she's more like my adoptive grandmother.
What does she want with my witch?
Well, you see, I made a
Because
bit of...
Celty has been of a great assistance to me.
What? Well, this took a turn I wasn't expecting.
Witches. Interesting.
So what does she want?
Well, I kind of signed a contract with her a little bit ago. Not a little bit ago, like half a year ago. And it's kind of just been escalating from there. So from that, it's been a whole mishmash of me asking for favors and then me having to do her stuff. And, it's just been kind of a cycle. So now we're back to the whole part where I gotta do her a favor, and she knows that Ferdinand, the witch,
Ferdinand.
a marsh witch, whatever. I guess she wants her for some reason.
Celti wants
I don't
Ferdinand
know why.
too.
What do you
I
mean too?
captured. Sorry, was losing my voice.
You had a frog in your throat? Ha 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 ha.
They'll glare at you and say,
Do you even know what that expression means?
if you
I
make
don't know if they
any
do.
more frog puns, we will throw you on that fire.
Oh my gosh.
All right, no need to get hopping mad.
Sort of fucking god. Okay.
So it shall be then. And they'll clap their hands, and you hear a large croak, and they will say, burn the small one.
No.
Wait, hang on. It wasn't a pun.
Wait,
It's just an actual
wait.
expression in our language. I don't think he was trying to make a pun. I think that he was just speaking normally.
I'm
and there
like-
are cultural and linguistic differences that may have confused everybody here.
I'm like giggling.
Make a
off of
persuasion
the-
check with disadvantage.
Serenith is just pinching her nose, and she's just like in the corner, like, oh god.
I'm going to sort of like
Straight rolls of 13. so
guard
7 plus
Winsler.
Mm-hmm.
7. 14.
Trying so hard to like not giggle and laugh.
While I'm protecting Winsler, I'm going to like slightly kick him. Like, shut up, stop.
Oh.
So, Mira, you kind of like duck in and go, it wasn't really, just JK.
JK.
JK, just a prank.
Just a prank, bro.
Prank, bro.
So they clap their hands, and like you hear rustling and shaking behind you. Serenith, if you were to turn around, you'd see probably like 40 grung piling in behind you, like with spears and blowguns and like lassos and other such things and drums.
Lassos.
And then
They're cowboys now.
Helpa will raise his tiny little froggy hand and will say, "Was just a joke. Everyone go back to business." And everyone will look very confused, disheartened, and rush back out of the building.
Oh my god.
Was a jape.
Helpa will glare at you, Winsler, and will say, "The witch I have, I believe, is not Ferdinand. Doesn't look like Ferdinand, doesn't smell like Ferdinand.
Wait, what does the witch look like? Because I don't think we know any other witches.
She looks like someone from the prime material plane. I don't really care. How much do you all know about the planes? Traveling between the planes?"
We go through a portal and we're on the other side.
This is probably my third time here, but even though I have no idea.
We use like sort of kind of like teleportation, like they like portals that open up and then they close. They're only open up certain times of the day.
And they use feather.
We've been to like weird planes, but mostly just this one.
Ferdinand is a witch who loves to travel between the planes, and so destruction
Yeah.
in her wake, leave behind people worse off than they were. This is her typical Isithil route, and so I expected to catch her here. But the witch I found wasn't Ferdinand, or I don't think is Ferdinand, isn't giving off any indications that she is Ferdinand, despite sharing all of the same paths and other things, knowing where Ferdinand goes and how Ferdinand works, but isn't Ferdinand. So, I've been trying to get information from her. Where is Ferdinand?
A decoy?
Huh.
Seems to be a decoy.
Maybe we can talk to her and see if we have any idea who this might be.
There's a tricky problem with that, though. Because if
What?
you talk to her and find out where Ferdinand is, you'll just go and get Ferdinand for your grandmother, Celti. And I want Ferdinand. I don't care about this witch. If she told me where Ferdinand was right now, she could leave with the lot of you. Or I could burn her, since neither one of us really seems to care about her. And that would appease Grungwar, greatest and most beautiful of the elders. I just want the information where Ferdinand is. And if she told you, you'd all run off and go find Ferdinand for Celti. And I want Ferdinand for me.
I mean, can't we all talk to her at the same time?
I don't want to talk to her. Oh, you mean my witch right now? The witch
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We could.
Mm-hmm.
We could, but that's below chieftain things. Chieftain things.
Well, then we would both find out where Ferdinand is at the same time, and so it would be equal. And then maybe we can like agree to something, because your whole thing is like, do you want to like burn Ferdinand? Is that like you? Like,
I want to
her
kill her.
die? Okay, that's cool because that's what Celti also wants.
But I
so
want to
it
do it.
doesn't matter.
Allegedly.
I want to do
Well,
it.
why don't? Well,
Could be
maybe
collaborative.
if we find Ferdinand, you can like come with us to Celties.
No.
Maybe, I don't know.
If we find Ferdinand, I will drag her back to the marble steps and kill her again.
Again?
Again?
This little frog will
This little
walk.
frog is just like a treasure trove of information.
This little frog will walk back with no other grung in the room. Will walk back and sit on, and you see them struggle and crawl or hop very mightily up into the throne, I think, and sit there. And slowly the limbs start to grow again, and the skin becomes less and less gold. And you see this gray, large, toad-like creature once more sitting before you, where Helpo was. And they will say, "You all can keep a secret, right?"
Yeah.
We're very good with secrets. We
I
have
can
lots
tell.
of secrets.
I can tell you must be great at keeping them.
Yes.
A word of me and this. The grung aren't smart people and haven't put two and two together
Well, don't say that.
yet. No, it is true, and it's distinctly
Alright.
the reason why I came here and not
You
elsewhere.
said it, not me.
Yes, I did say it. I want Ferdinand, and I want to kill Ferdinand, the witch. Serenep.
Yeah, during this entire thing, Seren's just kind of been watching and everything.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I think also in World, she would kind of raise her hand to wait to see if she is
Mhm.
called on to make a point, I guess.
Yeah, this toad creature will stop a very prominent verbal period after saying Ferdinand the witch, and we'll look at you, Ferdinand. Or what? Look at you, Ferdinand.
My
We'll look at you,
disguise.
Serenep,
Oh my god, we found her.
Oh my
and
gosh.
point out a long, clawed, gray arm, and will point at you and say, "What question do you have,
I
prime material plane denizen?"
It's just that I wanted to make a point here very quickly. Both you and Celti share a hatred of Ferdinand, and I understand you want to be the one to dispose of her. And if you have worked with Celti before and you share this common set, maybe it would be good that, because it doesn't sound like Celti wants to particularly kill Ferdinand. More, I don't know, torture, imprison, I don't know. But maybe it could be a system of, I can't believe. And then to herself, she's like, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. But if we work together on finding Ferdinand only, Celti and you, she will do torture or whatever it is she wants to do, and then when proper death comes, she can return Ferdinand to you because you want to end their life.
Again, yes.
But I don't think Celti wants to particularly kill, whereas it's torture and imprison.
I heard from Celti's mouth herself, Ferdinand will be going through here in Isithil. So I came here, made a little charade of becoming chief.
Charivari.
The real help is dead in a ditch, and I've been impersonating them. So that's the secret. Don't tell anyone that, because the grung can piece that together themselves.
Oh, okay. Well, what's your name? What should we call you?
I'm loud.
Hello.
But what's your name?
You all should go explore the plains a bit more. I think that you'd fit right in with most annoying people who fiddle around between them.
It's a little presumptuous, but all right.
The problem is, Celti told me where to find Ferdinand. I came here, prepared myself, took the place of the chieftain, caught a witch, which I had hoped to be Ferdinand. but it's not. And she won't tell me where Ferdinand is. So the problem is, if you find out where Ferdinand is, and consequently Celti finds out where Ferdinand is, and we work together and find Ferdinand and bring her to Celti, Celti won't give her to me. Celti will keep her and apparently torture her. That's not what I want.
Why?
I want her to die. I want to kill her again. I'm going to
Well,
drag her
but-
off to the plain of Estar and kill her on the marble steps, where I have once before, and where she should have been dead.
Well, oh no, go ahead, Integrity.
I just want to know, forgive me if this is intrusive, why do you want to kill Ferdinand that much? Like, what?
Do you know what I
happened?
am? And they gesture to themselves.
Oh, is it because you're a toad and witches like cook toads?
She turned me into a newt.
A newt.
They will squint their dark,
I got better.
completely black eyes at you, Mira, and kind of grimace. You see that this frog has almost fangs in its mouth, and they'll say to you, "No, it is not because I am a toad," and witches, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was I didn't realize.
If you're
that
to
was-
travel the multiverse, familiarize yourself with the people who exist on the other planes.
I apologize. We've never been to the plane of Estar before.
I am not
so
from the plane
I
of
don't-
Estar.
Oh, you're just going to the plane of Estar.
That is where I killed her once, and it's where she must die again. I
Okay.
am a slad.
Aha.
Do I
We
know?
come- You
what
can
slut-
make an Arcana
slot?
check if y'all want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ben the player knows what that is.
Ben the player knows what that is.
Plus
But does Winsler?
my Arcana 3. 15.
Winsler does not, in fact.
Arcana, right?
Arcana, please.
Arcana.
Based on my fucking roll. that's
22.
7.
Oh shit! Integrity.
Yeah,
Red, yellow,
18
red.
plus
There goes.
4.
Oh no, it rolled way too far. Come back.
Integrity's met 17 slad before.
That is 23.
Okay. Serenapth, Integrity. There was a offhanded reference to you both are in planar research, right?
E.
Yeah. So this works perfectly. So in planar research, there was like a reading that was just outlining the differences or like the different innate beings of the different planes. It touched on the elders of Isithil and stuff like that. And there's kind of like the minor details before diving into like the theory of traveling between these planes and like convergence. And in one of those little breakout boxes in your textbooks was for the plane of Stivus, god of seasons and storms and seas. And in it was that there were these beings, the Slad or Sladdy, that would you guys got 23 and 22, so I have to give you actual good information. I can't just be vague about it. There were these beings that are theorized based on planar scholars to have sprung up from the, what would be a good word? From like the chaos of seasons, right? Because like the planes themselves are supposed to be like representations of the gods, right? Which is why Isithil's is filled with wild animals and nature and is just super vibrant off the charts, right? Stivus is very heavily like the sea, very chaotic and ever changing, right? And so from that, these weird toad creatures came, the Slad or Sladdy. And not much is known about them to like scholars on the material plane, other than that no one's really survived encounters with them when they've tried to go to the plane of Stivus.
Cool.
So, what did that? Sorry, I'm asking questions now.
It's good. Ask your questions.
So, scholars say that people don't survive an encounter. Is it
Yeah.
the Slad themselves or the Slad in combination with Stivus?
It's the Slad themselves.
Okay.
It's the case that scholars who have gone to the plane of Stivus looking for Slad never come back.
So it's like you don't know if it's.
Ugh.
You just know that they never come back, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Sereneth is now on
Oh.
high alert.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So I know that information, but at the same time, I want to continue asking questions to this.
Absolutely. I endorse such
to laud.
activities. Yes.
So,
by the way,
s-
loud LAUD.
L8.
LAUD. Oh, I put
Laudanum.
LAWD.
Got it in my notes.
Laugh out loud. Okay. So what I'm getting from here, I don't know a lot. Our
good.
plane does not know a lot about slads
Very good.
or planes in general.
Good.
But is it because you were because Ferdinand came into your plane and anyone who comes by has to be killed by a slad, but she escaped, so you have to kill her for your, is it your honor? Pride?
That is a very good approximation of it. I enjoy traveling around, seeing the sights of the multiverse, as you all, I think, would also enjoy. I ran into Ferdinand at the Grapevine. She sold me what I thought was the body of another slad, preserved so that I might elevate my own self. It was a fake. It was a plum pudding. And so I hunted her
Ugh.
Plum pudding.
and killed her on the steps of the marble halls. And then, a couple years later, I hear she's alive and kicking and all fine and well. And I just don't think that I'm okay with someone who personally deceived me living. It's very distracting from my leisurely activities of strolling around. So, I don't want to give Ferdinand to you or to Celti, for that matter. You can talk to the witch. If she tells you anything about Ferdinand, I would implore you not to act on it. And they say that with a menace, I think.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Like this is a threat kind of thing?
Like this is a threat.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Listen, all I want is a popcorn machine.
God.
You can find those other places.
Yeah, but it's marked down.
It's going to be free.
It's like a free one.
Why not betray Celti and help me instead? I'll get you the popcorn machine.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they betray Celti, but if I betray Celti, I think I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
There's worse things.
Well, if he dies, Celti gets his soul, so maybe not.
And he'll
There's a
smile
loophole
at
in the
you
contract.
in his
Is
chair.
Is the contract say, is it my full? I think it's
It's
only like a
One,
It's the
1/17th,
17th,
yeah.
specific, so not the whole
There's
soul,
only
but
when
a
you
good
die.
amount that's like, oh, this is substantial.
They like he leans back in this at this point, tiny-ish throne and will just smirk at you when Mira says, oh, he loses his soul. And say, you made a deal for your soul with a witch.
I mean, I told you about the contract that
You
I
told
made. I
you
didn't
told me a
specify
contract.
exactly
You did not
what
tell me
kind
that
of a
your
contract
soul
I
was on
made.
the line.
It's only a 17th.
For the other three of you, if you were to betray this man's grandmother and help me, I promise you popcorn machines more than you could ever imagine from as many places as I can find them. And I can find quite a few. As for you, you'll die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. She'll kill you if you betray her. I'm not letting you talk to my witch and potentially find Ferdinand if you don't agree.
Can
This
we
is the
have
part
a
where we
meeting
run
about this?
outside.
You can talk.
I'm going to like grab my friends and we'll huddle together and talk about
Huddle.
it.
Best talk outside where I can't hear, I
Yeah.
think.
Sure.
Okay.
And they glare at you.
And we're walking away. Waddle, waddle.
God, so extra.
You all walk out through the bead curtains
Why
back
is there so many like
into the cold.
mean-spirited villains?
That's what makes them villains.
You're now standing on the main like boardwalk of Grungtown. The fire burns, the drums beat, the snow technicolor and falls on your heads. What do you talk about?
I'm
Okay.
afraid that if
What do we do?
I'm afraid that if the three of us betray Celti, since we are associated to Winsler, doesn't that still mean that, like, Celty was betrayed and would want to kill Winsler?
If anything, it would mean that Winsler was betrayed.
Yeah, I don't think she would definitely. Yeah.
What?
This is complicated. This is very complicated.
Okay, so when you made your deal with Celty, with the part of your soul, it had nothing.
Right, Celty can't kill Winsler. Right. That was part of the soul agreement.
And plus, even then,
I'm glad
the
someone
agreement
remembered.
itself had no connection to us whatsoever. If something happens during this where we don't help Winsler, he's not betraying Celty, we're betraying Winsler.
Oh, and
That doesn't connect
Celty-
us to Celty.
And she can't kill Winsler, and she can't send anyone after Winsler. That was also part of the agreement.
And plus,
But are you okay with that, Winsler? Like messing up the whole business relationship you have with Celty? Like you don't want her to like try to come back and like take like Yog's head back or something, right?
I don't think she'll try to do that.
hear me out. If Winsler attempts to try and get Ferdinand, and we 3-1 stop him, he still is fulfilling his role of trying to get Ferdinand. It is that we stepped in and stopped it. And plus, I 100% do not want to go against a Slade. So, I'm sorry, Winsler.
Wait,
I'm not stepping on that.
but what if Celty comes after us then, Zarenev? Because we like stopped her from doing her thing.
This is so tricky.
I don't have a contract with her for my soul. So
Yeah, but she seems like she could just kill people without a contract. You know, she seems very powerful.
she can't send anyone after
What if-
Winsler.
Half of us.
If she does send someone after us, and we are in Winsler's proximity, would that technically be breaking the
Just hide
rules?
behind him.
She can't kill Winsler, but she can kill us. If we are in proximity to Winsler, and she is attempting to hurt us, and he happens to get in the way, she can't hurt Winsler.
She can definitely hurt Winsler.
Am I just a glorified like meat
With
shield?
the shield. Yeah.
Hear me out.
Everyone
Winsler's
takes
just like
turns strapping Winsler to their
I
back.
can imagine Winsler, like, while we're talking about Winsler in this way, Winsler just looking at all of us, like, looking up
Be like,
and just
"What-
like,
what-
what
what?"
the fuck? Like, am I just some pawn to you guys?
I mean, there's also another thing we could do.
What's that?
Kill this lad?
We don't.
I don't. No. We could always just release the witch preemptively
Oh.
and then leave.
Give them means
be
to escape.
yeah, we'll talk to her. Oh no, she got away all of
Oh
a sudden
no, how'd she get
before she
out?
could tell us where
Oh.
Ferdinand went. We don't
Oh,
know.
no.
I don't know how she escaped. It had nothing to do with us. We weren't involved in that.
And again, this all
Is that what you
rides on the
mean?
fact of if we can even get the information of where Ferdinand is from her. What if we leave here, go searching around the area, and just happen to bump into Ferdinand that way?
True.
I mean, I have a spell that can make people do anything you say. If it works on her, I can just be like, tell us where Ferdinand is.
I mean, you could just forget you have that spell. In the heat of the moment, trying to get things done.
Fell out my
Oh no, I
brain.
forgot that I had this in. I wasn't prepared in time for the interrogation or whatever.
Oh, she left. Yeah. Gosh.
So
But it had nothing to do with us. She's just a strong witch. I think she sapped all of our energy magically or something.
I mean, yeah, we're
I
all
don't know how
students.
That happened.
So, like,
Yeah, we don't know
anyone with
magic.
more experience than us, it's believable that we would not have the power
I
to.
have a question.
Yeah.
Winsler, yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
I can't remember last episode or anything.
Uh-huh.
Did you describe that did the shaman have like a ring of keys or anything like that?
The shaman had no ring of keys. They
No.
had jars of their own surface mucus.
Okay.
If that's what you're into. Were you trying
So-
to get keys to break someone out of a jail or something?
Here's my plan. Here's my plan. Let me just
Yes.
read this to make sure that I am
Perfect.
thinking it is good. Let's see.
I love this. This is great.
This is all like a web of stuff, and we're all just confused and scared.
So, I'm thinking that there's gotta be guards guarding the prison where the witch is being held, obviously. So clearly, if they are in a prison, there's gotta be some sort of key. And the person who must have the key is the jailer, right? And clearly the jailer is a frog. They are a grung. Are you following me with this?
I think so.
It seems that these grung are very easy to manipulate
Yes.
based on the fact of how we got in so easily.
Yes.
So my plan is I can cast Alter Self on myself to look like a grung, have a conversation with the jailer, be like, oh, they don't need the witch anymore. You can set them free. Let them go.
This is just the fucking
It worked in
go-to
pattern.
plan.
It worked in pattern.
And then they'll be the ones responsible for releasing the witch. They'll get away.
and
And then
we can
I'll just have to
catch them
sneak
while
on
they're-
off. And there you go. Or I
Yeah.
guess I could say that I will personally deliver the witch out of town safely.
Or when the
That could
witches
work.
run away, while they're running away, we can quickly catch them, and then we'll be like, "Who are you and what do you work for?" And then they'll be like, "Oh no, I work for Ferdinand. Here is where Ferdinand is," because we're all so charming. And then we can find out where Ferdinand is, and what do we do when we meet Ferdinand?
We can just lie. We can just say, "Oh yeah, she told us where Ferdinand is. She's in this completely different place." And then it sounds like we're helping. Well, we're just going to go in this other direction where Ferdinand isn't, right?
But you also have to remember that this person or this lad can smell. So if we were to say that they went to this place, they will not be able to smell.
Wait, what? Really? It can?
Where's the information
Yeah.
coming from?
What?
Like
Integrity's just like
That
like
smell.
If she
that
rolls high enough on
smelly
intelligence,
smell.
it becomes fact.
like earlier, Loud was like, "Oh, it doesn't smell like Ferdinand."
That's
That's
true.
not- So like if we were to
but
trick
we don't
them,
know
then
proximity to that.
Yeah. It might just be that
That
the
is true.
person doesn't smell like Ferdinand, not like the entire area. Because, he said he was expecting to capture Ferdinand when he saw her. So it's clearly like a short distance thing.
that is true.
Hmm.
So they can only smell if the person is there at that moment close to them, but not when the person has already disappeared from that plane and went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Sereneth, what's up?
I'm gonna look around. How would you describe the structures in the area, like the huts and such? Like what
The huts-
materials are they?
The huts are all made of what seems to be little broken up twigs or wood and such things that are fastened together with small dried cord made of grass from the marsh surface itself. Looking around, there's this large fire in the center of town. People like many little grung beating on leather drums. There's ramshackle thrown together little huts and shacks that are very small. They look like Winsler could like squeeze in there, but not the rest of you. You'd have to get like on hands and knees to crawl in. On the other side of town almost, there looks like to be a large bubbling vat of mud that has some people standing around outside of it. That's the general overview of the town.
From where we are currently standing, can I like see where they might be holding the witch?
Make investigation checks, everyone, or just Sereneth, up to you all. If you want to make it,
They're
or
like,
you just wanna
"Oh
leave
man,
it
what
in
if we did
Sereneth's
this?" And
hands.
she was like,
Well, I do want to make it,
Ooh,
yeah.
Good though. 6 plus 3
15.
is 9.
You said investigation, right? Yeah, 15.
Yes.
"That is an 18."
17.
Okay. Winsler and Sereneth looking around. I think that looking around, there's some people that just have like spears on them. They almost look like fishing spears. Some people have like the glow sticks that come and have like the little rope to attach them to around or put them around your neck like a necklace. They have like that, except it's a blowgun. so that they don't lose it, like
Oh,
a blowgun on a
jeez.
lanyard, essentially. And that just looks like casual wear for the grung. Looking around, there's some with drums, other such things, these little houses. And you see standing by that big mud bath, bubbling pit of mud on the other side of the little grung town. There's a person standing there that is wearing like tree bark armor with a big, very ceremonial looking spear, not like a little fishing spear thing. I feel like the two of you could piece together that looks more like a guard or like an official soldier-esque grung than anyone else in this entire town.
Okay.
So it might stand to reason that they are guarding the witch.
Okay, because my thought process is infrastructure-wise, a lot of their buildings and everything is very like quickly put together, not strong materials.
Yes.
So whatever they are currently holding the witch with wouldn't be a physical item like the mud thing, but I'm thinking like their mucus and everything is the main piece. Like that's why they have the blowguns. If she tries to get out, they'll and she'll be out cold again. They can just drag her back and drop her in the thing. So I think our main thing is we can't really. I don't know how well we could break her out because very clearly they are using their mucus and everything to their advantage for stunning and immobilizing. I don't think it's an issue of them breaking themselves out of prison. I think it's more of an issue of once they are outside of it, they'll have trouble. So if we try and sneak in there and get them out, they could easily take us down and mobile us, and then we're also now imprisoned. So I think the idea of Winslow disguising themselves might be the best way to go, because if we try anything getting close to it and we look suspicious in any way, they'll probably knock us out.
Yeah. Okay. So to sum up the plan, then Winslow's gonna
One of them
disguise
shoots
himself-
it because they heard us talking.
Yeah, it'll be really loud.
All of you, there's a dart in your neck.
Yeah, no. So Winslow
no.
disguises himself as a grung, tells the other people to let the witch out. But first, we talk to the witch, figure out where Ferdinand is. Then we be like, oh, like she got away. And then we tell them that she went to a different place than she actually went to. Is that right?
Well, I mean, we wouldn't know anything about them getting out anyway. We were not a part of that plan at all.
Yeah.
All we know
were
is
just
that a
outside talking,
grung
and then the witch got out. Crazy that,
let them
hey?
out. We
Weird.
wouldn't know anything. But maybe to
Perfect,
be in
okay.
good, maybe to stay in good faiths, we can say that we will attempt to apprehend the person again. But then the issue is the Slade. Loud might, get out and go and try and find him because they're kind of hell bent on
that's-
getting Ferdinand.
That's not really our problem, though, is it?
If this is someone who just got dragged into this whole thing with
Why don't we?
Well, should be someone we know.
Well, we don't know who it is yet.
Not
So,
someone
or
we
if
know,
it's
but,
even
like-
somebody we've heard of. So why don't? That depends on what she's like. If this is like an evil witch, or if this is just a regular person. I feel like when Winslow goes
I
in
mean,
to
they
talk to them, then we'll figure that
like-
part out, right?
Loud said that the witch that's captive is someone from the prime material plane.
Mm-hmm.
what if we agree we're able to then talk to them, we won't get the information, like just to get a read on the personality and everything like that.
Mhm.
We don't technically need to get the information on Ferdinand quite yet. Talk to them.
Yeah.
We have a better idea of what this prison
Get a judge
is
of their
like.
character.
Okay.
Get a good judge.
We go in, we get a read of her personality, we don't ask where Ferdinand
Mm-hmm.
is, figure out if this is a good person or a bad person, if it matters that like we need to like go help her after she like gets let go. Then we leave, Winslow disguises himself as a grung, goes back in, finds out where Ferdinand is, convinces the other grung to let her go. Then we can not be responsible for her escaping while also knowing where Ferdinand is, right? And if he asks, we can either say that she didn't tell us
We don't
anything,
know.
or we make up a fake location, which is probably a safe bet. Then, if she's a good, if she is a bad person,
There's so many. Like,
so
if this, then that, and then that, and then this.
We've gone into morality of the
if she's-
situation.
it doesn't matter if she's a good person or a bad person because we're just going to say that she went somewhere that she didn't actually know Ferdinand. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We got it. It's fine. I think we know what we're doing.
Plan.
I don't
Plan
think we
Mira
need to
has
lay it
the
out
plan
word
in
by
her
word.
head.
We all know
Yeah.
what we're doing, right? Like, it makes sense to all of us? Are we all on the
Yeah.
same
Short
page?
term.
Do we get it? Are we cool?
Yeah.
We know what we're doing?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So, what?
So we're teaming up with Loud. Like we'll
Loud.
say
We're
that we'll
teaming
work for you
up.
so that we can talk
Air
to the
quotes.
person.
Okay.
Sarah's
So are
made her
you going to
peace.
enter
She's,
back into
she's
the
prepared to
chieftain's
die
hut?
with this happening.
Are you, so are you gonna walk back into the chieftain's hut?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You do so. Again, a very similar thing happens where you walk in and seem to take Loud off guard, even though they knew you were just outside. You see them very quickly poof and turn into this small golden frog, and they will say, "Oh, it's the four of you," and then they will grow back into that gray toad slad form, and they will say, "So, have you come to make a deal to betray the young man's grandmother and help me?"
Yes.
They will smile. They
Ugh.
look so relieved, and they'll stand up and with a lot of like swagger, like sway to their step, walk over and put out a very large web and clawed hand to shake.
Ew.
Your hand specifically, Mira,
Not it.
Ugh.
since you're the one who agreed.
Fine, I'll
More
shake it.
hand things. Another emblem of ownership.
More
Yay!
hands.
And they'll shake your hand and will say, "All right, so if the four of you betray me now, I will hunt you down wherever you rest and kill you in your sleep, probably."
That's fair.
Specifically.
Okay. Go find out where Ferdinand the Witch is and bring the information back to me. And remember, we keep each other's secrets.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they'll smile greatly at you and turn back into a tiny little frog and sit by the fire, grinning to themselves as you all exit the chieftain's house.
Ah, yes, another person who is going to possibly hunt us down and murder us.
Their lives
Yay!
have been on
So-
lines enough times.
Let's just add them to the list.
So,
Yay.
if I understand...
Burrito King.
Sarah. So, if I understand properly, Winsler's going, or all the four of you are going to discuss, or just going over and going to talk to the witch,
Yes.
right? Because that's
Correct.
above board.
We're
Then
gonna
the
see
three
what
of,
kind
then all of you
person
are gonna
she is.
leave. Winsler, as a grung, will come back, and based on how the first interaction with the witch went, will free the witch.
Convince them to
Okay.
reveal the
But
location.
okay,
of
And
the
then
important
free the
thing is
witch.
all four of you. The important thing is all four of you right now are going to go and talk to the
yeah,
witch.
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second part is going to be convincing the guard to be the one to release, because if the guard can do that,
Mm-hmm.
then
Who knows? This could easily
that's
be
no
Ira.
fault of mine.
Ira got caught.
No, Ira.
The
That'd be
four
kind
of
of funny,
you-
actually, if
that
it was
w-
Ira.
The four of you make your way on this boardwalk. Little grung staring at you from the windows and the water beneath. You hear hushed ribbits and croaks and snickers as they point and laugh at you all as you walk. Some of them run inside buildings, terrified of you.
So
It's almost like
fucking
you have like a
rude.
little circle around you where they don't want to get any closer than like 6 feet away from you guys, but
That's
they
smart.
very much like
Distancing.
Yeah.
follow like just at that
People die
distance
around us.
behind you.
Yeah.
You have a little crowd that seems to be interested in what the hell you're doing, especially
Yeah, a
after
bunch of giants just walked into town.
especially after Chieftain Helpa called all the grung in to take you and burn the little man, right? They seem to be specifically pointing and giggling at you, Winsler, often.
Ha 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 ha.
But froggy. And so you all make your way over towards this big mud pit where there's this very well armored and well equipped guard looking grung standing there. You see the mud is boiling, or not boiling, it's bubbling. You can feel some warmth from it, especially on this cold autumn Isithil day. The guard seems to be asleep and leaning on their staff to keep, or their spear to like keep them away, or like stand up, but they seem to be snoozing happily. And you can see like the little frog lips going like a little, I don't like, like a frog snore,
That's adorable.
That is.
So, you also would see as you approach this place. So it's like it's almost like like a hot tub that sits on someone's deck.
Yes.
It looks like that, except it's filled with mud. So there's little steps to go up to it, and the guard is standing on those steps itself, right? But the guard's asleep. You see a little rope hanging, connected, like nailed into the actual deck of like the stair wood itself, and it seems to just be holding on to something in the mud pit. How do you all approach this? Are you going to wake the guard up? Or are you just going to, I guess, yeah. What do you do?
I think we're just gonna walk up because there's nothing to be afraid of, right?
Okay.
Like
Except for blood
we have
dogs.
the permission
Yeah.
to come up.
So Integrity, you ascend these creaky wooden stairs. The guard does not wake up. What would you like to do?
I'm going to ascend some more and get to the person.
You go up to the top of the stairs. They're standing at the precipice of the mud pit. The guard has not woken up. They're slumbering mightily.
But where's the prisoner?
There's a rope going into the mud pit. It looks like something is like
Suspended down there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tap them. Well, no, I'm not going to tap them. I'm going to like wake them up by clapping in front of their face. Like, excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me?
A gentle clap or like
a loud one, like wake up, wake up.
Okay. Their eyes will slowly creep open and they'll look at you. They'll just make. Okay. They seem to be not startled by your presence. Surprisingly, they look as if there's like a jolt that runs through them, and they'll stand straight up and hit the butt of their spear against the wood and say, "Hey, you must back up. You're not allowed." Bang, 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 bang. No, you are. No, it is allowed near the mud bath. You have to back up. You have to back up.
No. No, we have the permission. We have the permission of Chief Helpa.
Oh, okay. That's great.
They allowed us to be able to talk to the prisoners, so
okay.
do you mind bringing...
Oh, I'm not strong enough to drag them out, so I haven't been interrogating them.
Well, that explains why. All right.
I'm
So
very
how-
small and weak.
Would you
as
like
you can
help?
see. I would adore help, actually.
Sure. So can you just show me how to do this?
You just pull the rope up. It's pretty fucking obvious.
Well, I'm just making sure. And I'm going
Listen,
to...
it's a simple town of simple people.
I'm going... I'm going to pull the rope up.
Okay. You pull the rope up, Integrity. It's heavy. There's something on the other end of this. Like, it seems to be a person on the other end of this that you pull and pull and pull through the mud. The mud is very warm to the touch. It's almost like a lovely little mud spa, right? Except they're using it as a prison to keep people in.
Cool.
So eventually you pull, and you start to pull what seem to be a mud-covered pair of feet cut with shoes, and then you just pull a person out by the feet, right? The rope seems to be wrapped around their feet, and then around their legs, around their waist, around their shoulders. Like they are just completely wrapped up, encircled in rope, like a mummy, but rope.
This poor person.
And also mud, so it's very difficult to tell, anything. It could be literally just a dead person for all you know, because it's just covered in mud, right? They look to be a humanoid, though, from what you can tell from the general body shape. And as soon as you pull them out, Integrity, the entire time you're pulling it out, this guard will be going, yeah, great, you're doing great, as you pull. And once you do finally pull them and their head out, I think you hear them coughing and coughing up mud and just taking these very big, deep breaths. You see them and blow mud out of their nose and just
Ew.
spit mud and just hack and get some oxygen, right? And they are just panting on the ground, their face covered in mud, their clothes and everything covered in mud. What do you want to do, Integrity and the rest of you? It's your time to investigate or interrogate under the supervision of this guard, of course. What do you do?
Can we see the face of this thing?
You could it's kind of obscured by mud.
Let's wipe their face.
Just with your hand, Winsler.
Not with my robe.
Prestidigitation.
Yeah, but
do have
I don't want to use magic in this town. Not yet.
That's very true.
Especially
It's a good
considering how fucking superstitious they are.
That
I'll
is
just-
true.
I'll just
In the
use my
background,
robe.
wait.
you still hear the drums going off and the burn the witch happening in the background.
Serenep is going to lean over and whisper to Winsler,
Uh-huh.
when you're disguised as the Grung, tell them that the reason we're letting her go is that we found out she's not actually a witch. She just has one cool magic trick.
Got it.
And Winsler, you take your robe and wipe this person's face.
Oh yeah,
Area.
muddy clothes.
You wipe their face off. And
yes, the mud people return.
the four of you crowding around see what looks like a familiar face.
Hoomst.
It's Fidan.
A kind of
Just kidding.
plain looking.
It's
We found
artist.
her, you guys.
It's Artis!
kind of-
Oh no!
She's just been in mud for the past 60 years.
Oh my god.
She has this kind of plain face, kind of recognizable, but kind of not, blends into the crowd.
Lucia.
Is it an Ava? Sorry, I'm gonna stop.
Brownish eyebrows, these brown eyes. Mira, you whisper under your breath, "Is that Ava?" And
Oh.
it very distinctly looks
no.
to be Ava.
Oh my.
There's
And that's where we'll
God.
end this episode.
But
The
which one
never-ending
though?
Cycle of sisters. I don't
Sarah,
know.
could you do an outro?
Which
Okay.
I love
one?
that you keep saying, "Is it this person? Is it this person?" Oh, sorry, I'll stop.
But it is
The
Ava.
second you
Very
said plain
funny.
face, I was like, Lucia, no.
She looks
She
generic.
finally gets another episode. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Trials and Trebuchets. If you enjoyed it, it would really help us out so much if you were to leave a review or a rating on iTunes or whatever podcatcher app you use. It really, really helps us so much. Or just tell a friend. If you want to see fan art, teasers, maps, and other exclusive content, you can follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Trials and Trebs. And for those of you who want to go that extra mile and do special support, which is a normal way to phrase that,
Special
we have a
support.
Patreon at patreon.com/trialsandtrebs, where you get to have wonderful benefits like making your own student NPC, getting access to behind-the-scenes DM notes, getting to vote on bonus episodes, and getting to listen to them early. Lots of really, really cool stuff like that. Finally, we have a Discord server where you can talk to us and other listeners, and you can find the link to that in the descriptions of our episodes. Thank you so much for listening, and we're excited for you to hear what happens next. I don't know what happens next,
Oh.
but I'm certainly excited for you to hear it.
Oh, I think you know what happens next. I'll see you all next time on Trials and Trebs. Bye!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.